Unfortunately, we got a lot of things that are going on, and maybe I should even use the word unfortunate, because it is fortunate that people are getting a chance to see what will happen when we don't deal with those issues, man, that have been
Yeah.
pressing, communities of color. Um, there's a lot of people that are upset and they're angry, they're frustrated, and they know. And before you send me an email, you know, don't talk to me that I'm endorsing any violence, because I ain't endorsing no violence or nobody burning nothing down or whatever. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on what's been going on and how you feel about some of this stuff.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. For the most part, I mean, I've been feeling this way for maybe almost 40 years, man. Just watching this go on, watching the riots over and over, watching us like go through so much oppression until we explode. And then, of course, it may not be in the proper manner or the way people think we should, but how can you tell somebody how to explode when they explode from oppression? So, I mean, it's from my point of view, I feel like, man, the world is actually seeing what we've been going through. Not just the police, but, these folks been had their foot on our necks. Like, this is nothing new for us. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of the world is getting to see it, because it's always been broadcasted on a large scale, a large media, mega media news channels. But now the world is getting to see it. And I mean, some people understand, some people don't, man. But it's like, it's been a long time coming. So I really hope we get some resolved out of it, and I hope it can shift to the proper direction. Because the protest is good and we need it, but we need to protest. We need to understand when we protest, and we don't need to just, if I can say, we don't need to think because of arrest or because of a conviction that's justice. Like, these people owe us some real justice. Like, laws have to be changed. Constitution has to be changed. Principles has to be changed. So, I mean, that's really how I feel about it. And that's how I look at the whole thing. So, I mean, if you understand where I'm coming from, you know exactly what I mean, bro.
Well, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and then of course, people have reached out to me, and pretty much what I've done all day is just been going back and forth through all these different stories that have been going on around the country, because let's not kid ourselves about Minnesota is the only spot, man. We got so many spots around the country where people have gone down, and we need to address that now. Now, the thing that I think is interesting is that, again, we start looking toward people who are famous to lead us. And I'm not really interested in what a lot of these famous people have to say, only in the sense that they might be what they call, quote unquote, social influencers. And I think that the people, this is the thing, DallyBoy, you are a social influencer. I am a social influencer, right? We all have an impact on people's lives in the sphere of influence where we exist in or whatever. And so I don't look for anybody else to lead me. Well, I decided to be a leader myself. Yeah. So what I'm troubled with is that people are upset about what Tiger Woods had to say, what or Lil Wayne had to say. And I think that sometimes we have to realize that there's some people that ain't gonna never say anything that's gonna support their community. Exactly. And why are we surprised?
Exactly. And I mean, anytime positivity show up, negativity coming. So those are distractions. I mean, if you're gonna let somebody say something distract you from, like, we got to stay focused on the cause, man, because those distractions are coming. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Clark Anderson talk about those, those horizontal issues that we don't need to be dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So we have to stay focused, man. And I mean, you know it. You can see it and you can observe it and what's going on. I mean, the famous people, they famous for a reason, and then they live a famous life. So they can't just they're not going to say what we expect or think they should say, that they feel it's something that they feel they may end up back here with us, or relying on us to have their back, when sometimes we've showed up like, we turn our backs on people a lot. And I'm not just saying me and you and Joe, I'm saying like just our people as a whole. Like we for something, I mean, just this American thing got our minds so twisted and so messed up and so discombobulated when it comes to each other. So we spend a lot of time going at each other, which is a distraction when we can't stay focused on the cause, and that's how the cause continues to get overlooked. We always have brothers like us in the struggle, taking the lead, doing our work, willing to take the lead. But if our people are not looking at us and accepting that, they looking for some famous person to say it or do it, then it's not gonna never get done, or they'll never see it happen. So hopefully they can wake up and understand that and not be wasting their time on those issues, man, that just I consider hot air. Like, let people say what they're gonna say, because people argue all day and people have different points, different views. And when you living in a millionaire lifestyle, you gonna feel totally different than us down here. And you may have come from us, but you know, it's easy to forget where you come from when you think you made it or you think you got it so good. But those people up there, they'll always remind them who they are. So
all they got to do is ask OJ.
Yeah, they'll get there. They'll always remind them who they are. So they'll get there. So we just got to stay focused as people and stay away from the nonsense and the distraction. And just like you said, why look to a famous, like I'm rephrasing your words. Why look to a famous person when we can lead ourselves? Anybody, why even look for a leader or wait on a leader when you can become the leader or a leader? You see, so we have to understand that as people. So I just wanted to say that part.
Yeah, brother, and you said it well, man. I mean, there's other incidents that have occurred. There's a Latino brother that was out in California that apparently they stopped him in a Walgreens parking lot or whatever, and he got down on his knees and had his hands up or whatever, and they thought he had a gun. It turned out to be a hammer. They shot the cop shot through the window 5 times and killed him and stuff. 22 years old or whatever. Now, the thing that I always thought was interesting about the press conference that I saw was that they started talking about his past record or whatever. And let me tell you something, man. If you live in any community of colors and you know anybody that don't have a record, I'll be shocked. There's very few, because, you know, the interaction that they have consistently in our communities. But the thing that we're trying to understand, and I'm trying to wrap my head around the situation, is that he was on his knees, had his hands above his waist. The dude said he saw something he thought was a gun. It was actually turned out to be a hammer that was in his waist.
Wow. In the midst of all this, that happened.
Yeah, that happened. Yep. And there's another situation that they're talking about. And let me make sure I get this right. Another black man dies in police restraint, yelling, "I can't breathe." And this is out of Seattle, Washington and stuff. Actually, Tacoma, Washington, police department was involved in the death of this brother named Manuel Ellis, who was age 33. And so this is the thing that I thought was interesting. Now they found drugs in the system, methamphetamines, all this type of stuff like that or whatever, and stuff. And then they said that he was resistant or whatever. And the argument was that when you're on these drugs, you have the superhuman strength, and he supposedly took down an officer or whatever. But even after, you know, and so this is the thing I thought was interesting, Con, brother. I just want you to get a chance to respond by what comment one of these people that read the article said. Okay. There's a huge difference between a combative individual and someone who is complying. I have zero understanding / acceptance or tolerance for officers who violently attack compliant suspects. I have a lot of understanding and empathy for officers who must resort to force to gain compliance.
So where do you draw the line at, and how do you make that decision and that determination? And I mean, people gonna have comments. I mean, people sit around and rationalize in their mind, which I give it to them. You know, we all do that. But once you comment or once you make it, you know, public like that, where do you draw the line, or how can you determine or make a distinction between what's what? Because they always say they found drugs in the system. That don't mean you were on the drugs at the time. You could have done those drugs previously, but those drugs take time to get out your system, even if it was just the day before. You know, you're still there. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, here's how I look at it with the police. The police know how to restrain anybody, any individual, without killing them. They're trained to restrain you. They don't have to kill you. Even if they're in fear of their life, they can easily shoot you in the leg. They're not taught to shoot you in the leg. They're taught to shoot to take you down.
Send a mass.
But if their mind is saying, okay, this person or suspect or this individual is getting irate or out of hand or maybe under some type of influence, we need to go ahead and subdue them. I don't have to kill them. Just pop them in the foot, shoot them in the leg. There's so much things they can do, because sometimes I seen them tase certain people and it don't work. But if it's 12, 20, one person, 20 police, 12 police, 5 police, because y'all supposed to be working out consistently, because y'all out there serving and protecting, y'all supposed to be in the best shape possible. So if it's 3 or 4 y'all should be able to handle one individual. That's how I look at it, you know. So I don't know, man, but I still can't determine where do I draw the line, because how do I know if that individual, if that individual dead, and I can't use that individual to get the true emotions and feelings of what that individual was going through. Yeah, I can look at the camera and watch the video and see what happened, but I don't know what that individual was going through emotionally or saying or whatever that may have led up to that, you know, that particular moment. So it's either, do I believe it? Now it depends on, do you believe the officers or not, which happens in a lot of times in the courtroom. So it boils down to that. Do the jury believe the officers or not? And then sometimes they'll look right at a video and see the evidence and still believe the officer, go against a fact and use belief. So that's a pretty crazy.
But look at George Floyd with the police report that came out with him that said he was resisting arrest, and then we got the video from all different angles, and you didn't see no resistance.
No resistance.
So far.
No resistance. And then we heard his emotion. Thank goodness that the camera was right there. We were able to hear and witness and see this. You know, like, man, that stuff, man, it's like, I hate to say that I become like a rock or hard to certain stuff, because it's just, I've learned to control my emotions more. But I mean, like, so I remember with my wife showing it to her, as soon as she seen it, tears, you know, it balled up. And people don't understand it. They don't go through this, but they try to act like, oh, we all struggle. We all are oppressed. The police killing all of us. Don't close your eyes to the racial issues of what we've been going through. We understand other people going through stuff and other people have struggles, but this is hundreds of years long, and then it's not like y'all don't know, because it's in the American history. So it's not like it's something that we're just making up and y'all see it and y'all turn y'all back because it's not in y'all neighborhoods. That's what people do to us, you know, and it's crazy. So it's like that pain that come up when you see that, man. You know, people think, oh, you mad, you gonna kill. No, I'm get angry. I can get angry and I don't have to go and harm or kill nobody, but I'm using my mind on what can I do intelligently to help this situation. And that's why I have to stay, and that's where we have to stay as people and as men, especially as black men. I mean, man, we got to stand up. Like, really, man, we got to stand up and we have to change something. And if it means some of us got to die, we need to be on the front line dying for something for real. We don't need to be just getting shot down and killed down by the police and then shooting and killing each other up in the streets. Like, we got to think of the next generation and let this live pain and this hurt that we go through realize that 100 years from now, if nothing changed, our grandkids to be going through and witnessing and feeling these same emotions, this same stuff that we go through, that my mama and my dad and them felt, their mom and their dad and them felt, their mom and their dad and them felt. Like, nothing changed because the black man didn't come together and say, forget all the differences.